Welcome back to the Koridor channel, and in today's video we're going to talk about 5 things you can do before you start product development. Let's get into it. When you have a business idea and you're in the startup phase, it gets really exciting to think about the product and how you can build a product that saves everybody's lives for whatever it is you're building for. But it's really challenging to actually build a great product that people will love. And the way that you should be doing that is following these 5 tips that I'm gonna give you guys to make sure that you're taking the right approach to product development. When I first started my first company, Koridor, the original one, what we did was we said, look, this product is gonna kill it. It's gonna be the best product out in the market. Unfortunately, when we built it, we didn't take the 5 steps that I'm about to talk to you about. What happened was we had to completely pivot the product and completely change everything around because of the fact that I was not well prepared to understand my customer base and who I was targeting to. So let's get into it and let's find out what the 5 steps are. So the first step is a marketing plan. Everyone skips marketing. I don't know why. Everyone just kind of presumes that marketing is just the promotion aspect of everything. But in reality, marketing has 4 P's associated to it: product, price, promotion, and place. So it's a major part of any product development and any business plan. So starting with a marketing plan can really help you understand what it is that you're trying to build and at what price point people will actually be attracted to and how you would place, in other words, distribute the product. Promotion is always the final step of that. So building a marketing plan can be a huge aspect to understanding what is the product that you're actually building. Another big aspect to why you should start with the marketing plan is to actually be able to understand who your competition is and really go dive deep into what it is that they do wrong. Because once you know what they do wrong, you can come back and actually develop something that tailors to that niche. So building a marketing plan can really help you understand what the product is going to be, who you're selling it to, and at what price point you can sell it, and how you're going to distribute the product. Once you have a marketing plan, then you want to go into step number 2, which is building a prototype. The amount of times people skip the prototype stage or really jump through the prototype stage is incredible. Prototyping is one of those opportunities where you can take to be able to actually see visually what your software is going to be before you spend $200,000, $300,000 on it. The other aspect of prototyping is so that you can actually be able to go onto step number 3. Before we get to step number 3, prototyping will help you visualize the entire product, the entire aspect of the features, and you can actually go back to your marketing plan and see if you can find some target audiences that might be able to test the idea out. See if they visually like the product. All of these things can be ironed out before you even touch development. So it is critical to do a prototype. At Koridor, we always do prototypes for our customers, even at the sales cycle stage. We actually develop an entire wireframe and giving our customers the visual concept of what their product is going to look like, because the visual aspect is a huge powerhouse in selling. Which leads me to step number 3, sell the prototype. The amount of people that actually go and start building a product before they've even sold the product is incredible. I would say most of the times when you compare startups that have succeeded versus that haven't succeeded, I would put a higher percentage at the ones that sold it before they even started building the software. When you sell the software before you even develop it, you have an opportunity to say to investors and to yourself that there is a market for this. People are willing to pay for my product. That's where prototyping really comes in handy, because you can give the full experience and the full aspect of the product to the customer, and they can actually see and understand and touch and interact with your product, which allows them to make a better informed decision. So selling a prototype does not mean you have to exchange it for cash. Although when you exchange it for cash, obviously they're more committed. But being able to sell the product and being able to say people will sign up for this, people have preemptively signed up, is a huge win for you, especially at the startup phase before you even start the product development side. One way that you can make sure that people do pay for that prototype or they do pay for being a first-time customer, is to actually give them a huge discount. You gotta give them an opportunity to get a massive discount so that they can actually benefit from the fact that they're signed up and they're taking the risk on with you with the product development side. Take crowdsourcing as one of the biggest examples of how they do that, where you can get the product at just an idea stage. That's the same idea for your software. Now that you've crowdsourced it, now you know if your product is going to sell, now you need to hire the team. The amount of people that skip over the concept of making sure they vet a good team is incredible. I would say a lot of the startups that actually fail in today's market is because they lack the team behind them. We're gonna be doing a video on how to pick a team. I'm gonna summarize the video that's gonna come out later this month, so keep an eye out for that one. But essentially what you wanna do is you wanna vet to make sure that your team sees the vision that you're trying to execute. If they don't see your vision, they can't actually execute on that vision. So make sure that they know and they're just as passionate as you are about solving the problem that you're trying to solve. And by the way, the marketing plan comes in real handy in this situation because they're gonna fire off questions about your idea, your product. All your answers are inside that marketing plan. So again, marketing plan should be your step number one. It's a massive part that everyone skips over. Once you have your general team, there's one major person that you need to really watch out for when you're hiring, especially when they're a co-founder. It's your CTO. Make sure you have vetted your CTO very clearly. Sometimes what happens is people hire CTOs because they just assume that CTOs know how to build a product. And that is often the case. But there's a lot of factors that play into building that product. One of the major aspects is the UI UX experience. User experience is not really easily translated to your CTO, especially if they're just coders. Another huge part is the product management side of things. They have to be able to understand and link the business case with the product itself. And without that link, your product is gonna fall flat incredibly quickly, and it's going to actually affect you in a big way in the long run because they're going to make some assumptions about the product that are going to be heavily incorrect. Now that you have your team, your CTO, your co-founder, you have your marketing plan, you have your prototype, everything is in place, now you get to the final step before you start your product development, which is the buyer's journey. Buyer's journey is one of those things that's always an afterthought that a lot of people put in at the end when they're about to sell the product. But in fact, if you put it at the beginning, you can actually see opportunities where you can develop and build product surrounding the buyer journey. In a buyer's journey, there's always 3 steps: awareness, interest, and decision. So at that buyer stage of, for example, interest, you're able to actually go in there and say, okay, I'm gonna build a tool that our customers are typically coming onto our website are wanting to see, for example, an SEO optimizer. If you build that tool into your system, you can actually capture leads that way. Second part is decision. If your product is able to have a free trial, for example, that plays a huge part into the decision factor. But you have to build the trial portion into the product. So these are ways that you can actually take advantage of a buyer's journey and understanding the buyer's journey and being able to build around them. All right, so let's recap what we learned about the 5 steps. So number 1, create a marketing plan. It is an absolute critical part of being able to design your product, price it, and how you're going to be distributing the product. Number 2 is to actually build a prototype. Pay for the prototype. Get a really good looking prototype because that leads to step number 3, you being able to sell the prototype. If you're able to sell the product, you're able to say there is a market fit and you're able to be 10 steps ahead of any other startup that hasn't done that yet. Once you've sold it, then you need to build a team around it. So step number 4 is hire the right people. Make sure they are passionate about the product. Make sure they see your vision. Make sure they understand it. And most importantly, make sure your CTO can handle the entire product suite instead of just coding. Finally, step number 5, the buyer's journey. Understanding the buyer's journey, you can build the product around it, which allows you to capture the leads and actually convert on those leads a lot more efficiently. We hope this video can help you develop your product and become more efficient at your startup. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please let us know down below. Otherwise, smash that like button, and we'll see you next time. Koridor out.